Ma'am, if you could state your full name and your date of birth.
Brooklyn Scalero, April.
All right, thank you. I know Ms. Stetson is here but not weighing in on this matter, but Ms. Stetson, if you do end up wanting to do an appearance in this case, please just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
All right, ma'am, you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. The charges are 1 count of trafficking, which is a Class 3 felony, 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, that's a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 1 count of theft, also Class 6. In this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on November 22nd at 8:30, with an evidentiary hearing November 25th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing November 26th at 8:30. Those are all going to take place at the Superior Court that is located in downtown Phoenix. I do show that you are currently on felony release in another matter. It looks like a bench warrant has been issued in that case too, so I'd imagine you're going to get a page 2 for that soon, but it just wasn't showing up. It wasn't showing up now so that we could add it to today's calendar, okay? But in this matter, because you were on felony release at the time these new offenses allegedly occurred and probable cause was found, you are required at this time to be held without bond, okay? So you're not eligible for release on the new charge, okay, on the new offense. So that's why we set that evidentiary hearing on November 25th. That's the court date I'm required to set pursuant to rule in order to allow the court to review those release conditions. Because if they were to continue to hold you non-bondable at that point, they would have to make some additional legal findings. You will get this information in your paperwork, and before I make an extraordinary circumstances finding, which I know we have to do since you went to the hospital, do you have any questions regarding this matter? All right, ma'am. If you want to go ahead and step over, and I do need to put on record that this matter is over the 24 hours. We did receive notice that Ms. Scalero was taken to the hospital in need of medical care, which extended out her time following her arrest. Extraordinary circumstances have been found pursuant to State v. Brown under that circumstance. All right, so we've got Daniel Martinez, and then Darius Tate will be up after that.
Right. 33 and then...
Oh. Oh, no, I already put it on record.
Right, this paperwork didn't change.
Yeah, so that has to be at the end of the hour. Okay, I'll bring it back. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Daniel Joseph James Martinez.
All right, thank you, sir. So you've got 3 separate cases here today. So in these matters, I think 2 of them are direct complaints that have been filed, and 1 of them is an initial arrest warrant out of the West McDowell Justice Court. So I'm going to go ahead and start with your direct complaint matters, which are your Superior Court cases. In each of those matters, a warrant was issued for a direct complaint filed. The first one alleges 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, Class 2 felony, 1 count of possession of a weapon during a drug offense, a Class 4 felony, and 2 counts of DUI, Class 1 misdemeanor. The offense date for those is January 14 of 2021. Your second direct complaint, this is a separate case number, alleges 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, Class 2 felony. That one has an offense date of December 12th of 2020. In each of those matters, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you, and you're going to have the same court dates as well. That's a status conference November 22nd and a preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30, and those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, in at least the first matter, I did reduce that bond down to a $50 secured appearance bond, but I'm still keeping a bond in place because you are going to have a bond in your second case. All right, so that matter, the $2,000 secured appearance bond that was in your arrest warrant has been affirmed. So that's your primary bond that you're going to have here today, okay? So your third case that you have, this one is the warrant that was issued out of the West McDowell Justice Court. So in that matter, it's an initial arrest warrant for 2 counts of DUI, Class 1 misdemeanors, 1 count of leaving the scene of an accident. That's a Class 2 misdemeanor. That has an offense date of December 25th of 2020. So the Public Defender's Office has been appointed there because it is a DUI matter. Arraignment hearing set November 19 at 8:30. That'll be at the West McDowell Justice Court. I'm doing the same thing here where I'm reducing that $2,500 bond to a $50 bond since it's an initial arrest warrant. It's not a failure to appear warrant, and I do recognize that, as well as the age of these cases. So in the end, for all 3 matters, you do have a $2,100 secured bond that would have to be posted in order to be released in these cases. All right, do you have any questions regarding these matters?
No.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
No.
Okay. If you want to step over, we'll get you paperwork on each case. That'll have all that information in it. All right, so we have Darius Tate, Roberto Rios will be up next. All right, Mr. Tate, if you could state your full name and date of birth.
Darius Tate for.
All right, sir, you are here for two separate cases. The first one is a new case out of Superior Court. The charges there are one count of possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, one count of resisting arrest, passive resistance, a Class 1 misdemeanor, one count of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor, one count of disobeying a court order, that's also a Class 1 misdemeanor. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on November 22nd. Preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30, and that'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this case, because you are going to have a bond in your probation matter, I'm putting a placeholder bond here. So you have a $50 secured appearance bond for the new charges that just came in. Since you're still on supervised probation, if you do post bond in our release, you do still need to comply with all terms. That does include contacting probation within 72 hours. And you have orders here that you are not to return to the scene of the offense or have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. And because you do have that prior felony, you're not to possess any weapons while on release. So your probation matter, which was added to the calendar today as a page 2, is here for a term 1 violation. So in that matter, public defender has been appointed as well. Your court date is a revocation arraignment hearing November 22nd at 8:30. Again, that's at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in that matter is a $500 secured appearance bond. It's $550 total for both matters. Do you have any questions regarding either case?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go ahead and have a seat at this time. Roberto Rios. James Manikowski is going to be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Roberto Joe Rios.
Thank you, sir. So you've got three separate cases here on the calendar today. The first one that I have here in front of me is going to be the new matter that just came in. This is for a new case out of Superior Court. The charges are one count of possession of dangerous drugs, that's a Class 4 felony, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, one count of possession of burglary tools, Class 6 felony, one count of obstruction, that's actually a Class 2 misdemeanor, not a 1. So in this matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. Your court dates are going to be a status conference November 22nd, preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, because your two probation cases are here, they both had warrants that were outstanding, and you are going to get bonds in those two cases. So in this case, I did a placeholder bond in the amount of $50. So same thing you might have heard me do in the last hearing. I do that so that they know you're in custody in all three matters, just in case you don't post those other bonds, okay? So your probation cases are both here for a petition to revoke filed alleging a violation of terms 3 and 5. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed in both of those, and a revocation arraignment hearing is set November 22nd at 8:30, and that'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. Now, the bond in each of those warrants has been affirmed. So the first one's a $500 secured appearance bond. Second is $250. So if my math is correct, I believe that's $800 for all three. If you post bond and are released from custody, again, you are still on supervised probation. You do need to contact probation within 72 hours. Do you have any questions regarding these matters?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to step over, we'll get you paperwork on each individual case. I'll have everything in it.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, James Manikowski, Sherry Kiefer will be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
James Michael Manikowski.
Thank you, sir. So you are here for three separate cases. The first one I have here is going to be the new matter that just came in. So this is for new charges out of Superior Court. So in that case, you have one count of possession of dangerous drugs and one count of possession of narcotic drugs, both Class 4 felonies. One count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. One count of criminal trespass in the second degree, which is a Class 2 misdemeanor. In that case, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You do have a status conference set on November 22nd with a preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. You do come up with a max recommendation. That's primarily because of your failure to appear list, which I believe I counted about 10 on your criminal history, 4 of which were within the last 6 months. So you do have a bond in this matter, which is a $500 secured appearance bond. If you do post bond and are released from custody, you're on probation, so you do need to contact probation within 72 hours. Your next two matters are both your probation cases. Those are term one violations. So in each of those matters, the public defender has been appointed and a revocation arraignment hearing is set on November 22nd at 8:30. That will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix as well. In each of those matters, what I did is the placeholder bond there. So you've got the two $50 bonds there. I do understand you were actually communicating with probation based on the notes that they submitted. I understand that, and I recognize that, which is why I lowered those down, okay? So you still have the $600 worth of bonds that would have to be posted prior to your release, though, okay? Any questions regarding these matters?
No, I don't think I'll be able to post bond, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. All right, so we have Sherry Kiefer and Richard Lopez up after that.
Hi, Your Honor, I've already served time on this case, on this order, this arrest.
All right, ma'am, please state your full name and your date of birth.
My name is Sherry Lynn Kiefer.
All right, thank you. So you are here for two separate cases, both of which are probation matters out of Superior Court. In each of those cases, it looks like it's a recent filing. A petition to revoke was filed and a warrant was issued. This is for a violation of terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation terms. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A revocation arraignment hearing is set November 22nd at 8:30. That's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in each of those warrants has been affirmed. One has a $150 secured appearance bond. The second has a $200 secured appearance bond. So it's $350 total for both. In this matter, if you do post bond and you are released, you are still on supervised probation at this time. You do still need to contact probation within 72 hours and otherwise comply with any terms that apply to you. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, but I just got out September 27th for these charges.
Yeah, you've already had, I believe,
30
two
some
prior
days.
reinstatements.
Pardon me?
You've already had two prior reinstatements and then
And I
you're
have
filing
got two
a
more.
third.
I had two more charges since I got out on September 27th.
Mm-hmm.
That's not possible.
They filed this on November 5th,
Oh, my goodness.
so you have new petition to revoke in both of your probation matters. All right, any additional questions regarding anything I went over?
No, but I think I'm being treated unfairly. I think there's some prejudice here
You have
somewhere.
been appointed an attorney to represent you. You can certainly speak with your counsel. All right, if you want to go and step over to the left, you can go and pick up that paperwork. All right, so we have Richard Lopez, Michelle Hutchins is going to be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Richard Raymond Lopez.
All right, thank you. You are here for two separate cases. So each of these are out of Superior Court. The first one that I have here is going to be the new matter that just was brought in. So this is for a new case out of Superior Court. It's alleging one count of criminal trespass in the first degree Class 6 felony. In that matter, the Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on November 22nd, preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30 at the downtown Phoenix Superior Court. In this matter, you do have a placeholder bond in the amount of $50 that is being put in place because you have your probation case here that's going to have a bond. So I do want to make sure they know you're in custody in both matters if you don't end up posting that second bond. You also have orders, hold on, I'll give you a chance to talk. You also have orders that you are not to return to the scene of the offense, not to have any contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness in this matter. And since you are still on supervised probation, you do need to contact them within 72 hours. So your second case that you have here is going to be a probation violation warrant that was issued, and now that's for a term 1 violation. The public defender has been appointed there. Revocation arraignment hearing set on November 22nd at 8:30. That'll be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In that matter, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. It is $550 total for both of them. If you do post bond and you are released, again, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours. I know I cut you off earlier, so if you have any questions or you want to say anything, now's your chance.
I'm actually not on probation, so I don't know why I have these probation warrants or whatever that is, because I just got out of prison.
They still
so
show
I
it,
should
and
be on
it's not a
parole.
warrant, it's a term 1, so it's for the new offense. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why you get term 1.
So why am I on probation for? I'm
They
supposed to be
still
on
show you're on
parole.
probation. I still show that you are currently on supervised probation.
I'm not on probation, I'm on parole.
You can certainly talk to your attorneys about that, but you likely had a probation tail after your parole was ended, after you were released from DOC custody. Michelle Hutchins, Dolores Jacinto Gonzalez will be up after that.
Ma'am, put your arms through, please. Put your arms through.
It's gonna be another one.
And stand right here.
If you touch my foot, there's no problem. It's called.
Ma'am, please state your
Hello.
full name and date of birth.
My name is Michelle Viviana Hutchins.
All right, you are here for a probation violation warrant that was issued back in August. It does allege a violation of terms 3, 5, and 15 of your probation term. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. A revocation arraignment hearing set on November 22nd at 8:30, and in this matter, the bond in your warrant's been affirmed. That's a $250 secured appearance bond. If you postpone and are released, you do need to contact probation within 72 hours. Any questions regarding that?
No.
All right, go ahead and step over to the left, and we'll get you your paperwork, and you have a seat. All right, so we've got Dolores Remigio Jacinto Gonzalez up next, and after that, it's Lanaya Sanders. All right, your full name and date of birth?
Dolores Remigio Jacinto Gonzalez.
All right, thank you. So you are here for a bench warrant that was issued for a failure to appear in your open felony case. That's CR 2024-150656. So in that matter, your new court dates are going to be a status conference set on November 22nd with a preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30, and that's going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The bond in your warrant has been affirmed. That's a $250 secured appearance bond. You started to say something. Did you have a question?
Yes, I was in custody when, I was in Glendale custody when my first case appearance, my first court appearance, I missed it because I was in custody in Glendale for
When were
24
you
hours.
in custody in Glendale?
November 6th to the 7th.
When were you released from custody
The
from
7th.
Glendale? All right, hold on a moment. This isn't your only bench warrant issued in other cases. This is your first bench warrant issued in this matter. Why weren't you in contact with pretrial services after your release?
Yes, I missed that. I do apologize for that.
I don't show that you complied with pretrial services either after you were released the last time you came through here. Is there some reason I should believe that this time, if I release you, that you would comply with pretrial services and show up at your next court date?
I'm going, I was homeless, I'm going home, I didn't know I was gonna, be picked up, but, I got a room at my sister's house, which, she came yesterday, and offered it, so I took the offer and, but she went to Mexico. She'll be back Monday morning or Monday night, and that's when she was gonna pick me up, and take me home.
All right.
So.
Stop. All right. I cannot look at Glendale's records. I don't have access to those. I'm going to believe you this time, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a second shot to appear at the next court date. Your release conditions will be supervised release. So you are still subject to the supervision of pretrial services. You are also subject to drug testing and monitoring in this matter. This does change your court dates. They're now December 3rd for the status conference and December 5th for the preliminary hearing. And in this matter, those are both at 8:30 a.m. We are going to have to reprint out your paperwork here. So it's going to be a second if you want to have a seat. But I will let you know, if you fail to appear at that next court date, they're going to bring you back in pretty quick, I think. And if you do that, you're not going to get this shot again. All right?
Thank you so
All right.
much.
If you want to go and have a seat, we'll go ahead and get your paperwork done again so we can get that out to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Lene Henrique Sanders, April.
All right, thank you. You are here for 3 separate cases. The first one I have here is a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. That has an offense date of yesterday, November 16. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you. Your two court dates you have are a status conference December 3rd and a preliminary hearing December 5th, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, because you did get a PSA recommendation for release, I am going to release you, but given the fact that you're here on two other matters out of a separate court, it is going to be subject to the supervision of pretrial services. Before you go, you're going to get some additional information regarding that with their instructions. You do have to stay in contact with them while on release. You need to check in with them. They'll give you any further instructions at that point. Your next two cases are warrants issued, both of them out of the El Mirage Municipal Court. Those are, looks like one of them is actually fairly an old case. One of them is a post-adjudication warrant, but the other one is a pre-adjudication warrant. So in both of those matters, you now have an arraignment hearing set on December 3rd at 8 a.m. That'll be at the El Mirage Municipal Court. I'm giving you a shot to appear at those matters as well. So you are being released on your own recognizance. That is going to be your promise to appear at these court dates. Just keep in mind, I did just give you court dates that are on the same day, so you are going to need to notify possibly El Mirage to see what you can do about that. Let them know you have a court date at Superior Court, okay? Don't just miss it and ignore it, all right?
Okay.
All right, any questions regarding these?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, we'll get you your paperwork. All right, David Marquez, Alexis Nunez is going to be up next. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
David Marquez, 19.
So you are here for a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging one count of possession of narcotic drugs. That is a Class 4 felony. One count of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, with the offense dated today, November 17. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set December 3rd and a preliminary hearing December 5th, both at 8:30, and that will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. In this matter, I am going to be following the PSA recommendation based on the nature of the charge. You are being released, but you are being released subject to the supervision of pretrial services. So before you go, again, you will get some new paperwork. It's going to have pretrial services instructions on it and their contact information. You need to stay checked in with them while on release. Do you have any questions regarding that?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you go and pick up that paperwork. All right, so we have Alexis Nunez. Cameron Thomas will be up after that. All right, ma'am, your full name and date of birth?
Alexis Nunez.
All right, thank you. You are here for a warrant that was issued in your probation matter for a failure to appear at your last revocation arraignment hearing. That hearing has been reset. You now have it on November 22nd at 8:30 a.m. It'll be at the same location at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I did take a look at your probation notes, and I did see that you at least got into contact with probation and indicated that you had also spoken with your attorney after you missed court on November 4th. In light of that, as well as the fact that it was a pretty nominal bond that was in your warrant, I am going to give you another shot to appear at your next court date. You are going to be released on your own recognizance, subject to the supervision of your probation officer.
Thank you.
So you do need to stay in contact with probation. That does include contacting them within 72 hours.
Okay.
All right, any questions regarding this?
No.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you can go and pick up that paperwork. Cameron Thomas and then Jerry Chavez Jr. will be up after that. All right, sir, your full name and date of birth?
Cameron Thomas.
All right, thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of Superior Court. This is alleging one count of taking identity of another, hold on. A Class 4 felony and one count of obstruction, a Class 2 misdemeanor with the offense date of November 17. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. You have a status conference set on December 3rd at 8:30. Preliminary hearing December 5th at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court located in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, based on your otherwise limited criminal history, I don't think you had convictions, but you did have a couple law enforcement contacts. You are getting released on following the PSA recommendation. That's going to be on your own recognizance, so that is your promise to appear. You do have orders not to contact any alleged victim, complainant, or witness if there is one. So in this matter, although I did release you, it does look like you might have another warrant out of Tempe. If you haven't seen them yet, you probably still do. Does he show a hold for Tempe?
Not on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe they won't do it, okay? Whenever I see that, I just want to give you a heads up, because that's a completely separate case. So even though you're getting released in this matter, I That's a completely different judge, completely different court, okay? All right, do you have any questions regarding this case?
No.
All right, thank you. No. All right, so we have Jerry Chavez Jr. with Steve Talavera up after that. All right, so your full name and date of birth?
Jerry Chavez, 12.
Thank you, sir. You are here for a new case out of Superior Court. It is alleging one count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a Class 4 felony that has an offense date of November 17. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you in this matter. You do currently have a status conference set December 3rd and a preliminary hearing December 5th, both at 8:30. Those are going to be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, I do show the prior felony conviction that is the basis for you being a prohibited possessor is about 20 years old. I don't show any failures to appear in your criminal history. Given that, I am going to be following the PSA recommendation, and you are being released today. It's on your own recognizance. Your release conditions do include the terms that you cannot possess any weapons. Until you have rights restored, you cannot possess any weapons. Do you have any questions regarding this?
No, ma'am.
All right, if you want to go and step over, you want to take up that paperwork. We have an interpreter? Okay, we have. And sir, if you could state your full name and date of birth.
Steve Arispe Talavera.
Thank you. So you've got two separate cases that are on the calendar today. The first one is going to be for a bench warrant issued for a failure to appear. That's in CR 2024-149533. So in that matter, a status conference is set on November 22nd with a preliminary hearing November 26th, both at 8:30. Those will be at the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. So in this matter, what we're going to do is we're going to do the placeholder bond in the amount of $50. That is being put in place because you are going to have the cash purge that we're just about to go over because you've got a child support warrant here.
Yes.
Okay? So the purpose of doing that is I want to make sure they know you're in custody,
Yes.
okay, in this matter as well.
Yes.
It does ensure that you get transported to court. It also could impact your credit for time served down the road.
Okay.
So your next case is that child support warrant. So this is a family court warrant,
Yes.
and it looks like it's a pretty recent one. It was
Yes.
issued, I believe, on November 4th.
Yes.
So in that matter, your family court judge assigned to this case set a cash purge in the amount of $1,500. The cash purge is the amount in cash that you must pay to be released from custody. Even if you pay, whether you pay it or not, okay, you are going to have a status conference in this case. It'll be on November 22nd at 10 a.m. So if you don't pay the cash purge and you remain in custody, you'd be transported over there to attend that court date. If you do pay it and you're released from custody, you do still need to appear at that November 22nd court date, okay? So in this matter, under Arizona law, I cannot reduce the amount of the cash purge, but I am required by law to ask you the following questions, which you can answer, but you do not have to. Is there anything you want the court to know about your present ability to pay the cash purge? And is there anything you want the court to know about being held in custody until the cash purge is paid?
Yes, I've been homeless for the past 2 years due to everything. I was hospitalized. I wasn't able to make my court date. I tried on the phone, but I had pneumonia in Banner Hospital, so there's no way I could make it. I'm still kind of sick, but there's no way. I barely started working just 3 days ago, so that's the only way I was able to receive money, but there's nothing else I can do to pay that to get out. So I'm barely starting to, I was barely starting to get my life back together since I got my job, but I'm not able to pay it until I work, so.
And believe me, I understand your dilemma. It's certainly not the first time that I've heard that, and of course, it's very frustrating when you do have to work to pay a child support warrant. But if you're in custody, you cannot do that.
Yes.
I do understand that. It is just a narrow exception for me to get rid of the cash purge set by another judge.
Yes.
Okay? And it doesn't apply in your matter. So I do have to affirm the cash purge amount. It's $1,500. So that is still the amount you would have to post. So if you're unable to, then you'll stay in custody, at least till that November 22nd date. That's when you'll go in front of the family court judge, and they'll address it at that point.
Okay.
You can figure out what they're going to do moving forward.
Okay, then.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You guys have a couple.
All right.